Yeah, and that game that I'm talking about, you have to actually do like you have to search. Like if you don't already have the parts, you have to acquire them. You have to do a search more or less to see if you can find them. And depending on where you're at, like if you're in a combat zone, it's a lot harder to find it than if you're not. Similar things when your pilots get well, not just your pilots. When any crew member gets injured, you also have a medical team, and the medical team has to make passes to, like, you know, take care of the people and what have you. So yeah, it's pretty intense, and every individual person is tracked. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Okay. What am I looking at? Holy shit, you actually came, Mouse Gunner, in the flesh. You know, the invitation I sent you was sort of a Hail Mary, to be frank. I was 90% certain you wouldn't even respond, but here you are. Gods be praised. Yeah, here we are. Now, you care to explain what we're looking at, Mr. Corbu? Oh yeah, my damned holo camera's on the fritz. You're getting the parrot, right? I think that's my comm system's default image, the one they use for display models. Just try to ignore it. We've got serious business to discuss. Oh, really? Well, it depends on what you want. This game that I'm talking about, it follows all the rules that are in the tabletop game, but many of those are advanced rules. They're separate books to the core rules. So a lot of that stuff is optional. You don't really have to use it if you don't want to. If all you're into is just having battles, then it's fairly straightforward. But if you want to get into like the really intense campaign stuff, which this simulates, then it does get really nitty-gritty with stuff. But again, it's entirely up to you and the people you play with how much you want to do that. If you don't really care to do that, then it's just between what you guys want to agree to. But if you want to do that kind of stuff, there are rules for it. I guess if I take a break here in about 45 minutes, I'll show you the core rule books of the tabletop game, just give you an idea. And these are the current core rule books, so you get an idea of what all that entails. Okay, anyway, I'll bet. Why don't you tell us about it? Okay, so here's the deal. I've got these associates, nobody you've ever heard of, nobody you need to worry about, but they shell out big money for old stuff, you know, bits and bobs from the Star League days. Doesn't matter if it's working or not, if it's ancient, they want it. Your associates aren't alone in that. A lot of people would give their left arm for a piece of genuine laws tech. Yeah, but you're talking about the stuff that has value. Mechs, ships, lasers, that kind of thing. My friends, they want everything, including literal garbage. And that makes opportunities for the people like you and me. So here's the deal. Way off the tip of Glenworth's northern continent, there's this island called whatever that. I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Now, I happen to know that there's a Star League era facility out there. The vultures have been picking at it for years, but there's still meat on those bones, and I want you to fetch it for me. So you called us out here for a Lost Tech treasure hunt. Fantastic. If you'd been upfront about that, I'd have argued against flying out here. I'd have argued against flying out here at all. Hang on, hear me out. The facility I'm sending you to isn't SLDF. That's the beauty of this plan, because there's nothing in there for any military value. Nobody with any muscle is going to show up to stop you. You're going after the equivalent of a Star League era stapler factory. But that doesn't matter to my associates. They'll pay top dollar for whatever you pull out of there. So what's stopping you from heading down there yourself and looting the place? Why are you hiring mechs? That seems kind of expensive. A healthy sense of self-preservation. See, there are a couple gangs of scavengers on that location who are fighting over our stapler factory. They're nobodies, just a bunch of amateurs. Who'd rather lob bombs at each other than learn to share. And before you ask, no, they don't have any battle mechs. At most, you run into a couple of rundown old tanks on each side. Nothing that you need to worry about. Any fool with a battle mech could pull off the kind of job you're describing, so why come to us? Because you're the best! And I know you're the best because I've got a pal at the MRB. Maybe you've met him, Phil Burdock. No? Well, me and Phil have an arrangement. I let him crash at my luxury timeshare in that place, Louth Abbey. And in return, he helps me find the right people for jobs that need doing. So your process involves bribery and a timeshare condominium. Got it. Yes, you do. Now, what do you say? A quick drop onto the island with a lance of light mechs? Maybe a skirmish with a vehicle or two, and the job's done? You scoop up whatever's in the facility and drop it off at my condo. I go to fence it to my associates, and you get a nice big payout. Easy as pie. Alright, so what do we got? So either we take it, or I'm going to be honest with you, Ed. You come off as a complete amateur and an untrustworthy one at that. So there's going to be a no for me. No, we're going to do it. We're going to do it because we need money. And I don't care if he's an idiot. Let's go for it. Brilliant, friend. Absolutely God's damned brilliant. I'll be in touch with you when you've got the goods. Until then, you do your thing. Don't let me stand in your way. Okay, let's see what everybody had to say here. I prefer a bit of straightforward experience. It's probably why I don't like BTA on Road Tech that much. Game gets just way too convoluted and complicated. Yeah, as I said, it doesn't have to be. One of the good experiences that I had was at a convention, and the way that they did it is, and honestly, this element of it, if you're even into the lore, like the whole Solaris Arena kind of stuff is kind of cool, but the way that they set this up, and this is great for first-time players, is everyone at the table, they have a selection of mechs you can pick from, and it starts off with fairly light stuff. So you're talking about whatever comes to mind as far as a light mech, and everyone picks one. You take turns picking them. You probably roll initiative, or I forget exactly the details, but you roll for initiative perhaps, and then you take turns picking the mechs. But the deal is, you go out, and it's a free-for-all. Everyone versus everyone in an arena setup. And when your mech goes down, there's another set of mechs you get to pick from, the next tier up. And then you immediately pick a new mech, and because, let's say you're the first one to go down, you get the first pick. And then you're something slightly heavier, so in this time, more medium mechs. And then you keep doing that until, like, I don't know, 4 tiers in, let's say. And then whoever gets the most kills within a set period of time wins. And it's fairly straightforward, because even if you're bad at the game and you die early, you get another mech pretty much right away, and it's a slightly better, well, a heavier mech. So you have a little bit more firepower to play with and what have you. And it's kind of a good way to, like, get newer players into the game, because they start off with a simpler mech that doesn't have a lot of weapons, and then they upgrade to a little bit better mech or a heavier one, depending on your perspective. And you go from there. So, all right, any case, let's take a look at what we're looking at here. So we have both a weight limit and a lance limit, seems like, yeah. It's polar, I like that. It's a recovery mission. I've given your pilot a map of that location, complete with a rough location of the Star League installation. I want you to get in there, brush aside any resistance, and loot whatever your battle mechs can carry. You'll get your pay when my associates have the goods. Well, this should be exciting. All right. Wow, this is very little pay. Trustworthy client. I'm going to take it, frankly, more salvage because we're not really getting much money anyway. Oh, I have to read this because we're probably not going to get another opportunity. You've got this, Commander. I know that you do. Phil Murdoch told me you were the best of the best. Why did the dragon get removed? Oh, because it's too heavy. Okay. Well, this is why we have other mechs. Question is, what are we going to use? It's been a while since I've used some of our lighter mechs. I guess the Enforcer was one of our standard kind of brawler style mechs. I don't know how good its armor is. 880. Okay, so that's not too bad. The Centurion we set up as a support mech. The Vindicator was also set up as a brawler, but it's probably a little too light for this mission at this stage. So yeah, I think we go with the Enforcer. It's already kind of kitted out, although it doesn't necessarily have the best weapon systems available to us. It's not bad. So yeah, we'll go with that. Otherwise, we don't really have to modify our lance too much. Alternatively, I could go heavier on support mechs. Go with something like the Wolverine, which is a pretty good support mech, and put Crackshot in there because she has that high spirits. You know, I'm going to do that. I like that idea. So what's the durability on the Wolverine? 960. So we did go pretty heavy on the armor. I did not give it jump jets. I just want to assess kind of the situation where we're at. So the other one we have is to say Centurion that we could potentially use. Which one has the better damage output? That might be a factor. So 190. 175. So this is quite a bit down. This does have extra damage in it, though, for the LRM-20. And that would really be our main means of doing damage, would be the LRM-20. Yeah, I think we stick with the Wolverine. It doesn't have quite as much damage, but much better armored. And the main weapon that we want to be using, the LRM-20, is going to do more damage. So I think I'm going to stick with that. But yeah, that's one of the things that FOSSA, which was the company that originally developed, designed, what have you, Battletech, they were really good with was lore, because the other game that they developed was Shadowrun, which is a cyberpunk game, and that's the same thing with that game. Very rich lore. It gets a little bit more into like magic and stuff. It's like cyberpunk with magic is the best way to explain Shadowrun if you've never heard of it. And the developers that made this game made a Shadowrun video game before they made this, so.
Command interface initiated.
According to Corbu's map, our Star League stapler factory should be somewhere just ahead of you. He also said that we shouldn't run up against anything more dangerous than a combat vehicle or two, but I'd take that with a grain of salt. Oh yeah, I know. I knew what you meant. Perhaps more than a grain. I don't especially trust Mr. Corbu or his mysterious associates. Me neither, but it's refreshing to work for someone who's obviously sketchy for a change. Okay, I mean, most of our clients are just as bad, but they're much better at hiding it. Coming transmission. I see that we've got some new battle mechs on the field. Hello, my name is Benton. And if you've come for the vault, my hired cutthroats will be murdering you today. That location is my island, Benton. If I catch either of you near that vault, you only wish you were dead. I've got a bucket of Proserpian. That word. Blood limpets and a vivid imagination, and I'm feeling eager to use them. I guess we better not let you catch us. Game Fest is on, everybody. We've got a fight on our hands. This is a very interesting
Let's get to it.
engagement. Alright. So we have to go all the way over there. We have no idea where the enemy may be. I'm gonna play this conservative. At first. Well, maybe if we sprint in behind this rock, we'll be okay. Should probably figure out where the edges of the map are. The stuff might come from our left, I'm sorry, our right side. So,
Acknowledge.
yeah, I'm kind of concerned about the terrain. We've got this big open valley in front of us. Not a lot of cover in between here and there. We'll keep the Wolverine and the Trebuchet together. The Wolverine can protect the Trebuchet if it comes down to that.
Rolling.
And we'll keep these two together as well.
Copy that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I didn't believe that it was just going to be a couple vehicles. There's no way in hell. I'll just jump to the next little bit.
Engaging jump jets.
Is this going to be one of those missions? Oh, okay. I was about to say where we don't get contacts until we already... Well, I guess that gives us an idea where they are. So far, it's only vehicles, so he hasn't necessarily lied to us. I have a feeling they're going to come from the flanks. So I think if I face too hard that way, we might be in trouble. Guess we'll just run for it. Again, I don't have a lot of cover here, so I'm just going to have to make do.
Move order received.
I'm there.
That'll do. Ah, okay, so there's stuff in front of us. I was about to say, we have more contacts than I initially saw. So that's a 70-ton thing, and it moved right away, which is concerning. What would be 70 tons that would move that early? So something's up. Well, let's reserve and figure this out. I don't think they're going to be able to get me, but I guess we'll find out.
Standing by.
This might be able to see me. This one. I suspect the other ones are not going to be able to. But,
Standing by.
Yes, Commander.
all right, we know we have the initiative advantage. This guy has initiative advantage on us, but we're far enough away. I don't think that's going to matter. Unless that's, of course, an LRM carrier, then that would hurt a lot.
Confirmed.
All right. No surprise, that's a striker, and that's also a striker. Guess it doesn't matter which one we target, then.
I copy.
Okay, that's one down. Maybe I should have targeted the further one away,
That's one less vehicle.
but I think we're within stomping distance. I'll probably stomp that one next turn. Okay. So no LRM carrier there. All right. So I'm going to jump forward here, figure out what we're looking at. You are a urban assault vehicle. Oh. Why are you so heavy? This is one of those vehicles that I'm not as familiar with because I think it was added in later. I think it's all that well armored, is it? SRM carrier is a little worrying. But again, we should beat it to initiative, so... I have enough damage output here. Go ahead with the precision strike, though, just to be sure. We'll hit it on the right side.
Engaging target.
Oh, we would have if we hadn't missed with that laser. Okay.
Ready for orders.
Trebuchet, I'm going to move up on the ridge here. That striker is as good as dead, so let's focus on the important stuff here.
Roger.
Oh, you know, I shouldn't have moved the Trebuchet first. That was a mistake. Well, it's going to be a multi-target situation. You're going to be... You're going to be A. You're going to be B. Hopefully I didn't make too much of a mistake.
Locked in.
Okay, it's dead. Yeah, I think we just probably barely didn't kill it. Okay, SRM carrier is the next priority.
Commander?
Crack shot should be able to kill that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to move up like that.
Coordinates received. Gotcha.
If this doesn't get it, we should have a good follow-up.
Hot damn. Let's do this.
Alright, so let's start with Brunswick. Get that melee attack in. This is guaranteed to kill this thing. Unless, of course, I miss, but I have a 95% chance to hit, so...
Oh.
Okay. I'll try and melee with the Shadowhawk if I can, but I have a feeling that I'm not going to be close enough with the terrain in front of me and what have you. I could probably death from above it, but I don't want to mess up my legs this early on, so...
Waiting for orders.
Let's just walk Crackshot up, and I may just use my medium lasers here and just save my LRM.
Rolling.
It's a little ballsy, but I think we've burned this guy's armor enough that he'd probably go down to this.
Target locked.
Yeah, he's dead.
Vehicle down.
Alright, so we're out of combat, so the Shadowhawk got its turn skipped. Again, I'm going to complain about that to my end days. They really need to fix that crap. I get so pissed off by the fact that it skips your turn if you get out of combat.
Coordinates received.
I don't normally use it because it's not necessarily a wise move, but I do have achievements to get. I normally don't care about achievements either, but
Position confirmed.
which is one of the reasons why I didn't really have that many until more recently. I think I have like 70 plus of them now, but I don't usually chase after them. And a lot of them you have to specifically go out of your way to do, like design a mech with only ballistic weapons, stuff like that. Okay. We still don't have any contacts. I'm not sure if that's going to continue or not. Let's go ahead and grab... Well, I am afraid that it's going to skip my turn again. So I probably should get these guys into a fairly safe position. I don't know where the attack's going to come from, so I kind of have to guess.
Aye, aye.
So I'm going to try and cover my angles as much as I can. So I'm going to have the Trebuchet face one way, the Wolverine face the other.
I'm there.
Oh, I thought the Shadowhawk would have been able to get in.
Ready for orders.
Well, the Firestarter will be able to get in. I'm okay with where the Shadowhawk is, so if it immediately interrupts my turn, I'm okay with that.
Got it.
I'm just concerned that this is close to the edge of the map up here. Yeah, it is. So I don't suspect enemies going to come from that direction. They might even come from behind me. We've taken possession of the Stapler Factory, Commander. Keep our scavenger friends occupied and away from the facility while our people crack the vault. Alright, because I am fairly certain that the attack will not come from this direction. Now, I don't know that for sure. They could end up in these woods or some nonsense. I'm going to go ahead and face the one way we're not already looking. If I'm wrong, I'm going to get a rear shot on me, but...
The asset is in hand, Commander. Good work.
Okay, that was amazingly easy. I have a feeling they're setting me up for something here. Commander, I've been studying the symbols on the crates that our Lance pulled from the facility. Against all odds, it looks like Mr. Corbu was telling us the truth. We've just stolen several tons of commercial-grade Lost Tech desk accessories. Hey, I mean, are they fusion reactor powered? Well, that's one for the record books. We just pulled the biggest stapler heist in human history. And to think, Benton and Maj, I'm guessing on how you pronounce that, have been at each other's throats over this vault for months. People have died for this. How do we break it to them they were fighting over garbage? Well, they probably won't believe us. It isn't our job to break anything to them. All we need to do is get this crap to Louth Abbey and get paid. Speaking of which, I'm setting a course, Commander. We'll get Corbu on the horn as soon as we reach cruising altitude. Okay. All right, continue. Well, I tend not to like ballistic weapons, so that one I didn't do until very recently. Okay, we got very little pay. Great! Let's see what you got. Alright. Get our experience. Okay. Just looking through to see what's worth taking. I want to take the SRM-6, even though not all that exciting. Most of the stuff is just, yeah, it is what it is. I'm probably going to take the plus 20 stability damage and the plus 2 stability damage. So why not? Well, and one thing to keep in mind too, like with this game, is that they've definitely buffed ballistic weapons. If you go back to the tabletop game, ballistic weapons aren't nearly as effective as they are in this game. They really up the damage output, comparatively speaking, of the ballistic weapons to make them a little bit more viable. Hey, one man's trash too. Hey, there you are! Just the mercs I was hoping to see. We've got your staplers, Ed. I hope you've got a lot of empty space in that timeshare because you're gonna need it. Hey, that sounds great. Really it does, but in the meantime, I've got a little problem on my hands. You know the guys who were fighting you over the vault, Bitten and Maj? Well, they sent some goons to my place in Louth Abbey, and long story short, they've trapped you in the condo, haven't they? Oh, this is the other engagement. Yeah, they've sort of joined forces, and they're threatening to kill me if you don't give them the fabulous treasure that you pulled out of the vault. There was no treasure. We've got a ship's hold full of commercial-grade office crap. I know, but they don't know that. See, they might have been led to believe that some incredible treasure was inside the vault, you know, by a former client. Oh, in other words, you hired him. I need you to be straight with me, Ed. Were you that client? In a matter of speaking, I mean, yes, yeah, it was me. Why would you have told them that? Because every time I tried telling people what I was really after, they bailed on me. Up until I met you. I mean, you were different, but every merc I talked to before you took the job, laughed me off and called me a chump. So I whipped up a story about the vault being full of treasure, and all of a sudden, I started getting bites. So what happened? Well, first I heard Maj. Seemed like a solid merc, but when he got to the site, he went rogue. I guess he wanted to take the treasure for himself, so then I called in Benton, who agreed to neutralize Maj for a share of the treasure, but he also went rogue, so then, well, you already know what happened next. So what you're saying is that you hired us to rob a vault from under your own contractor, whom you hired to take down your other contractor, both of whom are holding you ransom for a treasure that doesn't exist. It sounds so bad when you put it that way. Look, I'm the victim here. Now, the way I see it, there are a couple ways out of this. Call them option A and option B. Option A is the direct approach. You come in with guns blazing, protect my timeshare, and mow down the bad guys. It's a simple plan, but it's got a few downsides. The streets of Louth Abbey won't support much more than 30 or 40 tons, so I don't have very many light mechs. I got rid of most of them. You try landing anything heavier, and it'll sink right through. And my timeshare, well, lovely, wasn't built to withstand a missile attack, so that could be a problem too. Now option B is going the tricky route. I tell Benton and Maj that we surrender and that you'll drop the treasure in a field somewhere. When they show up in the big ass assault mechs, fight over it, you swoop up and kick their teeth in. I have 3 light mechs, I think. I don't know if I kept any. The other mech that I have that would be like, I don't know, 45 tons, I think is the lightest besides that. I just got rid of my Jenner. Alright, well, in any case. I thought you said they didn't have any mechs at that location. And they didn't. Probably because they didn't want to risk blowing up the treasure. Now, what's it going to be? Option A or option B? Okay, so what do we see? We're coming to Louth Abbey, Ed. We'll be there ASAP. Or use a treasure to lure Benton and Maj away from Ed's condo. I like the sound of option B. Let's go with it. Or you're ignoring option C, Ed. I could just keep the staplers and wash my hands of the rest. Well, honestly, that's probably not a bad idea. But hey, there's assault class mechs. Well, I actually like light mechs, but there comes a point where, with the way this game works, I'm gonna go with this though. Mostly because I don't think I can do a full lance. And secondly, I wish I could look at what my mechs were, because I honestly don't remember. But I'm fairly certain I don't have a 40-ton mech. I'm fairly certain, because I never got an assassin or a, what's the other mech? Starts with a V. Vulcan. I never got one of those. So, and I wouldn't have kept the cicada, because cicadas are terrible in this game. So yeah, I think I only have 3 mechs that fit the bill. I got rid of all my other light mechs, so this kind of sucks, but I'm gonna have to go with option B here. I have no choice. Unless I just want to run 3 mechs. I also don't have the pilots to support that either. You're an absolute lifesaver, Commander. I'll tell the bad guys where to meet you. Now, if you excuse me, I've got to go. This condo's got a sweet little panic room, and it's got my name written all over it. Hiding is good. Try to keep yourself alive until the smoke clears. Roger that, Space Doc. You won't hear a peep out of me until the shooting stops, and by that time, with a little luck, Maj and Benton will be out of my life forever. Better get to it, Commander. I'll be waiting for you. Okay. I've told Benton and Maj that you're gonna drop their treasure in a field about 100 clicks south of Louth Abbey. That should put you far away enough to avoid collateral damage, so feel free to go after them with whatever battle mechs you like. Just be aware that there's nothing stopping them from doing the same to you. Ben and Maj were fighting against each other on that location. They may be allies of convenience for now, but I'll bet that'll change when they've got the treasure in their sights. Alright, so we got that to look forward to. A lot more money, but I'm still going to go for the salvage because there may be good mechs here. Okay, well, now we don't have a weight limit, so we're going to go back with our original plan. Although, honestly, I don't know if that's the right call, if they're assault class mechs. It honestly might be, though, because if they're assault class mechs, that means they won't have the initiative advantage on even a dragon, so fingers crossed we're not going to all die. Okay. Good to go. I mean, I still run a light mech, so... Although this one might be a call for using like a Phoenix Hawk or something, but I'm telling you, the Firestarter's gotten more kills than any other mech here, so I kind of feel like I should still use it. Got a hair in front of my face. There we go. Just swirling around in the air. The joys of living in a house with cats. Alright, so we just have to kill them. Pretty straightforward. I didn't look to see what the train was, but I suspect it's going to be the same as last mission, although I could be wrong. Probably would have been urban if I'd gone with the other choice.
Command interface initiated.
Alright. Eyes up, Maj. Corbu's pet mercenaries are here. Took them long enough, but now they're going to give us what's ours, aren't they? Their buddy Ed already told us as much, so they'll relinquish our treasure nice and easy and then fly off into the sunset together. It's already done, Maj. If you run a sensor sweep, you'll find a handful of very large crates about 300 meters from where you're standing. Huh? What do you know? There they are. I'll be taking them. I'll advise you all stand down, but I know that you won't listen, so I think I'll just shoot you instead. Not if I beat you to it, you insufferable prick. I've been waiting for an opportunity to put you down. Okay, here they go.
Good to go, Commander.
I assume if they actually get to it, they'll know that it's fake, or, well, it's not fake, that it's not what they expected. I think I want to head over to these woods. So for right now, we'll do a simple move order. Be somewhat conservative with our support mech. Fire Dragon kind of needs to be close, but I don't want to get too close. Yeah, that does make a certain amount of sense, but we won't have combat until I get in sensor range, so I think I'm going to move the Fire Dragon here.
Roger that.
I'm definitely okay with moving Brunswick up into possible sensor contact because we'll be able to pull him out potentially.
Heading out.
Okay,
I've got another.
good. That at least starts the combat. Let's see what we're looking at. 20-ton mech, 25-ton mech, and 95-ton mech. That could be a Cyclops, and if it is, that's a real problem for us. I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump to here. Well, they do have a couple light mechs. Module dropship is... Oh, they're not here yet. Oh, okay. Module dropship is on the way, Commander. I'm marking his projected LZ on your screen. I thought they were going to both be here already, but... Alright. Well, if it's a Cyclops, it hasn't buffed anybody's initiative, so it can't be a Cyclops. It's probably a Banshee then, at 95 tons. So... it could either be decent, depending on what variant it is, or not that great for the weight that it is. So either way, I'm not that scared just yet. But we shouldn't think too lightly of it. Okay, so the Locust just barely got in vision of me. Oh, I'm out of range, damn.
Orders?
Okay. Chance to hit is so bad. Well, this is what we're gonna do.
What do you need?
Brunswick, you need to back off, but not so far that you lose sensor contact. That's probably good right there. And you're behind a ridge, so less likely the Locust is established. We kind of need to get rid of the Locust because the Locust is going to continuously be able to establish lines of sight.
Engaging jump jet.
And if that happens, you know, not ideal.
Sensors locked on.
Now it's an easier target to hit. Oh, we're not to that initiative yet. I kind of wish I could hit and run here, but not going to be able to pull that off. So what we're going to do, I'm going to reserve one more time.
Yes, Commander.
We just really don't want them to be able to establish line of sight. It was where it's down to. And they're going to be able to do that fairly simply if I stay where I am. So I'm actually going to sprint away. I still might be able to get it.
Full speed.
Yes, Commander.
The shot's still pretty bad, probably, but I'm going to go ahead and do the higher accuracy one. Maybe we can get something out of it. I could precision strike it, but I feel like that'd be a waste.
Taking the shot.
We'll just pick at the Locust. It's a 1M variant, so frankly speaking, it shouldn't take too much to drop it. Yeah, and then I'll, can I move down here? I can. I'm not sure if this bridge blocks line of sight or not. I really don't know. Well, either way, I guess the
Engaging jump jets.
Locust isn't going to get line of sight this turn. I've got bad news for a lot of you. You're standing between me and the treasure. That looks like a stalker, a javelin, and a spider. And that's a bad place for you to be. Now, smashing your mech won't be quite as satisfying as dunking your heads in a bucket of blood limpets. But given the circumstances, I'm willing to settle. So the stalker is that scary, is really scary. Remind me to smack Ed for ever having hired this guy. Alright. So, typically speaking, on the first turn somebody arrives, they tend not to do anything.
Copy that.
So it's 2 light mechs on both sides and an assault mech on either side. If that's one of the crappier variants of the Banshee, then I know which side's going to win. Because the Stalker is absolutely deadly. That Locust barely moved. Well, let's just
Reserving action.
reserve through this. Give us a little bit more freedom to act. Kind of tricky too, because I don't know where any of them are. Yeah, Stalker does overheat like crazy, but he's in the right environment for that. At least to help with it a little bit. Alright, what do we got? I prefer to go after this side because I suspect this side's going to win. Not only does he have better light mechs, he also has the better assault mech. In theory, we don't know what variant of the Banshee that's going to be, but I'm pretty certain it's a Banshee at this point.
I've got a sensor lock.
Because I think Highlanders are, what, 90 tons?
Receiving you.
So that's a Javelin there. We'll just go ahead and poke at him. I will use a precision strike, because why not? He has no damage reduction, so I will use both missiles at him. That helped. Dragon isn't really going to be able to do anything just yet. If they go straight at each other, then we really don't have anything to worry about. But I at least want to set myself up so maybe we can do something to pick away at who we think is going to be the winner. Or maybe at least turn the battle a little bit away from the winner.
Engaging jump jets.
Alright.
Hell yes.
Here they go. That locust isn't gonna last long. Oh, I misidentified that. Did I say it was a spider? I guess it was a panther. That's even worse. Yeah, that's even worse for these guys. We'll just continue to reserve because it seems like they're just going after each other. I forget what the 25-ton mech was. Did we identify that or not? Not sure if I remember. Probably doesn't matter. Might only be a commando. I'm not sure if there's any other options. 25 tons. Oh, interesting. So the Stalker is moving as a heavy mech.
Roger that. Standing by.
Yeah, that Highlander is a lot of fun. It's more than likely a commando. I don't think there's any other 25-ton mechs in this game. I could be wrong on that.
Waiting for my opening.
Oh, there was multiple cold strikes on that guy. Okay. I was wondering what the heavy thing was. Well, that hasn't confirmed what variant of the Banshee is. It could still be the bad one, but that actually did kind of confirm it was a Banshee, because a PPC and an autocannon, I think, is pretty much a Banshee. Alright, so there goes the Locust. We didn't expect that would last long, especially when a Stalker fires at it. That doesn't feel very good. Okay, so as we were thinking, it looks like this side is going to be the one that wins. So we need to try and help them.
Aye, aye.
So I'm going to jump in. I can't get close enough. No, jump. Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I can jump in there. We'll go after the Javelin some more, try and knock it out. We're hitting the same side too, so that should be good. Okay, so there's the Stalker. Oh, the Stalker has reduced armor too. I wonder if the Banshee is similar. Well, in any case, let's go ahead and use Vigilance so that we can get out of here. And I don't feel like a cold shot is necessary here. Very good likelihood we take out that torso. Well, okay, we just killed him.
That's a kill.
Well, now it's equal a little bit more, although the mechs are better on this side still.
Waiting for orders.
Okay. There's going to be a multi-target. You're going to be A. You're going to be B. I'm going to do... Come on.
Acknowledged.
That might be all I helped the one side. We'll see. I mean, really, that's the only side I have vision of right now.
Commander.
Legend can get a firing solution. I'm a little concerned about the Banshee
Moving out.
potentially being able to see me. Oh, all we have vision of is a Stalker. I'm a little concerned we hit our own mech, but... Oh, what the hell.
Target confirmed.
There we go. Alright, so here I'm actually going to switch sides now and work on this group.
Engaging jump jets.
It is a commando. Let's see if we can knock the commando out. So, we just go right torso, see if we can burn through him.
Engaging target.
Got him. Alright.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Let's see if I'm right about which variant of the Banshee it is. Yeah, it's a standard Banshee, which is not a very good mech. For a 95-ton mech, this is not a very good mech. And the reason why is it's emphasized speed For such a heavy mech, that kind of speed, I know it's not that fast, but it's the speed of a lot of heavy mechs typically. So its firepower is kind of lackluster for how big it is.
Receiving you.
Okay, I'm not in range to attack anybody here, so we're just gonna jump back. Well, the goal with a light mech is to never be seen. Never be in a position where that can happen to you. I know that you can be sensor locked and things like that, but that's usually the goal. I'm gonna sensor lock the Panther. Because we want to make this a little bit more even fight. Ideally, you do that after the Panther's already moved, but it's a situation we were in. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and attack the Banshee because we have this ability to do so.
Engaging target.
Jump away.
Engaging jump jets.
Okay.
What's up, boss?
I can't quite get into cover. I guess I'll just stay put. We're only going to fire one of the LRMs. Go with the one with higher accuracy.
Engaging.
We have some work to do to even this out.
Yes, Commander.
I'll go here. Yeah, the two assault class mechs start at 50%, it looks like. The Panther's more than likely going to be able to see me next turn.
Good to go.
That's okay. We're in a fairly defensive position, so I'm not too worried about it. Just the thing that was worrying is that the Stalker will be able to hit me, so we have to try and kill that Panther if it gets the vision. Actually surprised he had vision of that Panther from that distance. Like, seriously? The AI just cheated. There's no way that Banshee saw that Panther from that distance. Unless it used my sensor lock, which I don't think it can do. Alright, let's see if they get the vision. I highly suspect the Panther will get vision. Oh, no, it didn't. Alright, then we're in a good position here. To just wait for them. But yeah, that attack on the Panther was highly suspect. Okay, that Banshee's starting to get into a worrying position. So I'm gonna have to do something about it.
Orders.
Let's see what Brunswick can do.
Go.
I can't get a rear shot. As much as I'd like to.
Copy that.
Alright, we are going to use Vigilance here because we're kind of in a bad spot for a counterattack. These guys can maybe get in behind me. We might be able to chop that arm off.
Here it comes.
Okay.
Commander.
Now we can win there. He's got good damage reduction, but they're all going to have damage reduction. There's not really anything I can do about that. Okay, got a crit.
Solid connection, that one.
I think there's a fairly good chance we knock out the Banshee here. I might be hot running, but I don't want to give that Panther my back, so
Engaging jump jets.
we can get a shot off here. Is this the time to use the precision strike? I have fairly good accuracy, so I'm going to say no.
Engaging target.
We can save it for next turn.
Good to go.
Move in somewhat aggressively here. Turn everything on.
Targeting for an alpha strike.
All right. Really. I'm trying to consider whether getting the rear shot's worth it. Probably.
Roger.
This is when we use the precision strike. I'm just going to go center torso here. Even though that center torso has very good armor, I want to strip out as much health as I can. I think that's the call. If the Banshee hits me and melee, it hurts. So I need to make sure he goes down. Well, at least they didn't use the Banshee's vision.
Standing by.
We need to hit him from the same side he's already been hit on to focus our damage. That's what I'm going to try and do. We should be out of vision. This might be another call for a precision strike here. Chop his leg off. What's his leg at? No, that's not the right call.
Copy that.
Okay.
Inflicted some
I think
heavy
he'll go
damage.
down. I think he'll go down here. We've got a lot of damage coming in. Alright. Get nice and close so we can get those small lasers in, attack from the same side. It might be too hot to pull this off, though. I'm okay.
All weapons committed.
This might get what we're looking for, but
Mech
there we go.
warriors, Show
Yeah.
what you've got.
Enemy mech destroyed.
I was fairly confident we could get the kill, so that's why I went for that move. Alright, let's reserve so that the Stalker has nothing to do here. Alright.
Orders.
I'm just gonna go ahead and move in. I can only see the Panther in this spot, like seriously? Alright, well I don't care. I'm gonna go ahead and use... Do I use Vigilance or do I use Precision Strike? I think Precision Strike is the right call.
Moving to position.
Good, we clipped off his PBC.
Scored a critical hit.
Let's go.
Alright, Brunswick is very unlikely going to be able to do anything at the moment. So we're gonna have to reserve, which does allow the Panther to move. If we can kill that Panther, though, we'll be in a good spot. Now, the Stalker will maybe have free reign to attack us. There's not a whole lot I think I can do about that, because it's probably going to be able to move up and get vision anyway. This might get us the kill. Oh, that was super overkill. Now, the Stalker is slow, so it's a possibility it won't get the vision, so we should at least wait for it to see if it does. It's gonna hurt if it can get that vision.
Waiting for the right move.
Okay, it was unable.
Yeah.
At this point, we might as well just sprint to cool off a bit and maybe get into a potential situation. I'm actually gonna sprint here. Gets us the vision, but also gets us closer. I think I'm even gonna go out in the open here because I want to get as close as I can to see if I can get a rear
All right.
attack on this
Full
guy.
speed.
Okay.
Ready for orders.
He's got quite a bit of damage reduction here, so I'm just going to go with the higher damage output.
Roger that.
I don't think there's a reason to precision strike him just yet. Hey, we got an ammo explosion. That looks good. I think the Stalker's already really in trouble.
Yes, Commander.
Alright. But... guess we might as well do a precision strike now. I'm gonna go after the right torso, see if we can clip that off. Okay, we got an SRM-6 crit. That's nice.
Inflicted some.
No retreat.
Yeah, he's not going to survive the next turn. I think that's very unlikely. Here comes our jump in behind.
Lifting off.
Patented move with the fire starter. Go with our precision strike. I'm just going to go after that same torso section.
Copy that.
Yeah, got it.
Inflicted some heavy damage.
Okay. Now he has literally no weapons. And his armor is already stripped and he has very little internal structure, so I think this is a done deal. Go ahead and move Leo up aggressively.
Acknowledged.
Our precision strike. Go for center torso. I actually survived that. We still have the fire dragon if all else fails. This is also a lot of damage output here. Only 73 hit points.
Engaging target.
This guy's got a lot of damage reduction though, which is why that made that so tricky.
Enemy mech destroyed.
That's done it, Commander. By all the gods, you've done it. Benton and Modge are dead. We've still got our staplers, and we're all gonna walk away from this with a nice fat paycheck in our pockets. I'll believe that when I see it. You don't have to wait long. If you'd be so kind as to scoop up the treasure, I'll fence it to my associates, and we can all fly off into the sunset. Our job here is done.
Mission successful.
All right. All right, so a successful flashpoint for us. Honestly, it was fairly easy. The first mission was just like extremely easy. And this one wasn't so bad. Nicely done, pal. You've just pulled my feet out of the fire big time. Okay. So, yeah, see, Firestarter got more kills than our heavier mechs. Okay, so I definitely want a stalker part. Which variant is this? Hold on. I gotta hover it over it for a bit. This is maybe the normal one. I honestly I don't remember, but this might be the normal one. All right. Well, I always like me a stalker, so it kind of came out not. All right, Banshee. And then other than that, I guess we just go for something that maybe we can salvage. Locust 1M is probably not worth as much, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the Panther because it's probably worth the most out of this bunch. So we're nowhere near getting either of these mechs, and frankly, I wouldn't want a Banshee even if I got it. 2 alarm 10s and a few medium lasers. Okay. All right. So the salvage was not as good as I would have hoped, but hey, at least we get some assault class mech parts. All right, let's see what our ultimate reward is going to be. Whatever the loot box gives us. I don't know if I checked the store on this location. We should probably do that. All right. Well, the man's trash 3. Who's true to his word? Ed Corbu. That's who. I've gotten in touch with my associates and arranged the sale of our antique office supplies. I think you'll be very happy with your cut of the profits. I'm thrilled that we're getting paid at all. To be perfectly frank, it didn't seem terribly likely that this was going to work out in our favor. And yet, here you stand, a nice fat stack of C-bills in hand. Like I said, my associates had you covered. Who are these associates of yours, Ed? The sale's already gone through, so telling us couldn't hurt anything. They're just these people, you know, high status types. I think they work in communications. As to why they want all this old junk? Who knows? I think it's symbolic, like having a fancy business card or getting a sweet paint job on your mech. Can't think of any other reason why anyone would care about a crate full of staplers. Now, they work in communications. You mean like Comstar? Well, good on you, Ed. You set your sights on this goal and made it happen, despite the fact that you have no idea what you were doing at any point in the process. That's pretty impressive, if you ask me. So, how are you going to spend your share of the profits? Quality of life upgrades. I'm taking my share and moving to New Avalon. I've spent enough time out in the boonies. I want me some of that Capital World lifestyle. With Majin bitten out of the picture, you're in a fine position to enjoy it. Damn right! You do me a big favor by taking them out of the game. And I hope you don't take this the wrong way, Commander, but I have no desire to spend any more time hanging with mech jockeys. From this point on, it's all peace and love for Ed Corbu. Giant robots need not apply. I think that's for the best, Mr. Corbu. Most people aren't cut out for the sort of life we lead, and if I'm being honest, that probably isn't a bad thing. No, ma'am, it most definitely is not. On that note, it's probably time for us to say goodbye. Thanks again, Commander. You really saved my bacon back there. As a rule, I don't let my clients get killed. It's bad for business, but you're welcome all the same. Cheers, pal! And if you're ever on to Avalon, well, you probably shouldn't look me up, but raise a toast for your old pal Ed Corbu. And know that he's off living his best life, probably, in another beautiful condominium, because he has standards that need to be met. We'd expect nothing less. Goodbye, Mr. Corbu. Maybe we'll catch you sometime later on down the line. Who knows? Maybe you will. Until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. Right, loot box. Go, go, go. Okay, we got an AC-10 with a extra crit chance. Yeah, very disappointing stuff here. Well, we get 500,000, I guess. That was not the best loot crate I've ever opened. Yeah, it probably is worth a decent amount, I would imagine. I just would have to look at what slots it had, and even then, I'm not sure what I could do with it. Well, yeah, we didn't really make that much money from this contract, all things considered. As far as the location, there might be contracts here. Or not. Take a look at it. Well, that one's doable. It's against House Kurita, so I'm fine with that. That one's a little out of our league. That one's against House Davian, so I'd be fine with doing it. And this one's against Davian as well. So the only compelling contract, unfortunately, is a little outside our league, but there are 3 3-star ones, and I think we can do those contracts as long as they're not anything too annoying. Recovery. They're all recovery missions. I think those are fine missions to do, and they're all in polar or tundra climates, so that works for us as well. Because I tend to have hotter running mechs anyway.